For my final project, I decided to model the TARDIS from Doctor Who. I felt that, it's an iconic shape, definitely, but I felt like geometrically it'd be interesting to model. So I began with adding an offset plane to anchor my attached canvas to, and then using that canvas, I used the profile view as a reference for sketching out the rectangles that make up its geometric qualities, and then extruded them partially based on the just overall view of the TARDIS, but also based on some dimensions I found online as people create their own TARDISes. I use the same technique to create the further geometric features on the front, like the doors and the molding. Drew those out in the sketch environment and then extruded them. This caused me a small problem later on, but it was quickly resolved. I will address that later. I also created a little frame for the sign that is to go out front, and then from here I duplicated this design on all four sides. I initially tried to use a rectangular pattern command, but felt that it was causing me more problems than a simple copy paste or a mirror across planes would. And so I duplicated my patterns on all four sides to get my classic TARDIS shape with all its detailing and molding. And then using, again, the rectangular and then extrude command, I created this tiered rectangular prism design on top as a little housing for my, what is soon to be my lighting fixture. It was my initial intent to create this model in the sculpt environment. However, I quickly realized once I began modeling this within the sculpt environment that I was working harder, not smarter, and just due to its geometric shape and all its rigidity and 90-degree angles, it was just a lot more conducive to the model environment. At this point, I used the attached canvas again as a reference to do the lighting fixture. I used the repeat on a path command to duplicate the little lighting fixture on the inside, as well as a revolve command on a sketched out cone for the little topper on it. Now at this point, the timeline isn't doing the best job of showing what's going on right here. At this point, I realized that when I extruded my doors and my molding, I did not separate the bodies from each other. So essentially, the entire TARDIS was being treated as one piece. So I used the door frames as a path to split the face on all four sides of my TARDIS, so I could add different appearances and different materials in my little window panes. And so that was my next step. I used emissive materials in the lighting fixture as well to give it that glow, and then applied glass panes to all of my windows. And there they are, perfect. At this point, I thought I was done, but I couldn't really settle with it the way it was. I needed all those different colors, so I added the black and the white to the front, as well as used the text tool to write out the police call box on the front, and then extruded that to give it a little bit of depth, and then of course duplicated that all around, as is the name of the game for this model in general. And that is my final model. I'm actually pretty proud of how it turned out. It looks like the classic TARDIS. Always been a big Doctor Who fan, so I was really excited to model this. I was able to implement some of the solid parametric modeling principles, like with the solid structures and the geometric rigidity and the definition and the preciseness that I really wanted, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's not in the timeline for whatever reason, but after this I was also able to animate it flying through space, which I had a lot of fun with. I've learned a lot in this class, and I'm really happy with all the tools I have at my disposal now, and I'm just really excited to be able to use these skills in the future. So thank you for all your help this semester. It's been wonderful.